You know, time stands still when you're having fun, eh? Don't start the clock. Tēnā tātou katoa, tuatahi mihi tēnei ki tō tātou kaihanga i o matua. Kia rangi nui, kia papatua nuku me a rāua uri, ngā hua, ngā tini, ngā uri a te hau. Mihi atu ki a rātou, ngā tūpuna mātua kua mene atu ki te pō. Ki te tangata whenua ko Mingma, te ahi kā tēnā koutou. Kia koe e Deb nau te karakia i te ata nei. Te kōrero hononga whānau, hononga ki ngā kia papatuanuku tēnā koe. I acknowledge Io Matua, our Supreme Being, Rangi Nui, Sky Father, Papatuanuku, Earth Mother, and their descendants, the plants, the four-leggeds, the winged and non-winged, all those that are part of our creation story. I pay my respects to our ancestors, to all our ancestors, and bid them farewell. To the Mi'kmaq people of this land, those that keep the sacred fires burning, I greet you. To Deb, who opened our gathering in a very profound and deeply appropriate way, highlighting the importance of family and a familial connection to place and in turn to each other. Pai mārire. So I encourage you to sit back and enjoy the storying. I'm not going to tire your eyes with heaps of slides. We only have one slide. I am not here to present. I am here to share my stories. Te kawa o wai tui tui. This is a tikanga or a protocol that I bring with me today, presenced here by the elements of our natural environment. The children of Rangi Nui, Sky Father, and Papatuanuku, Earth Mother, it is an analogy of the practice and protocol of weaving waters. I presence here this hewn burl of the box elder and the shavings from the walnut, the cherry, and red oak grandfathers that now imbue the ha, the breath of the carver as he carved this water carrier gifted to me only yesterday. I bring my pounamu. Her name is Kawakawa. She is an important and highly prized possession of Māori, found only in the west coast of Te Waka a Maui, the South Island and the Hokitika River, to hononga, to greet and connect with these taonga, these ancestors of your lands. The Māori of the waters of the Atlantic, the life force and vitality bears witness to the conversations that we are about to have. The stone gifted to me just a couple of evenings ago by a traditional elder who I experienced the ceremony of prepping the water drum. The water drum for our sweat lodge. I share with you and invite you to feel the essence of place of Aotearoa through this pounamu. And in doing so, I invite you to also think of a water body that strongly resonates with you wherever you may be, or wherever in the world that may be. You could ask for a ticket to Aotearoa, New Zealand. Waiora, water is life. Mani wichoni, water is life. This picture here represents the sacred hoop. White, yellow, red and black, once broken, now calls for a time of healing. The white buffalo calf woman prophesies that there would come a time when a white buffalo calf would stand on the earth and all the white spirit animals would signal this time for healing by sacred prayer to influence a shift in energy. In 2008, my close friend created this representation of World Peace and Prayer Day, honouring sacred sites. Led by Chief Arvel Looking Horse, 19th generation keeper of the sacred white buffalo calf pipe, the leader of the Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, Oyate, the Great Sioux Nation. As the host nation, we acknowledge the sacred four directions, as you can see there, which we refer to as Ngā Haue Whā, the four winds. An international gathering now spanning over 20 years. The proverb, all nations, all faiths, one prayer, was further aligned with the Aior meaning of peace, for which we have deep cultural traditions. The star cluster of Pleiades, or Matariki, as we know her, is also identified. Our sacred creation origins are bound by the kawakawa, or protocols of aroha, of love. There is a shift that is manifesting in a strong, strong desire to return to the traditional ways in order to protect Mother Earth. We heard this in the welcome and in the prayers offered by Deb this morning, an important way in which to open and hold such an important space and gatherings that have the opportunity to bring positive change. We, here today, have that ability to embody this narrative in what we practice and do, partnering with place, culture and communities is a sacred covenant. Ko au te whenua, ko te whenua ko au. I am the land and the land is me. I am not here as a presenter, but a messenger, and I appreciate the opportunity to share my story. As my brother said, I have been serving my people for many years. I don't come with any academic qualifications or alphabet soup after my name, and therefore disciplines. I am undisciplined. I come with the calluses on these hands, an open heart, and a dose of humility and humour. Ko wai au. I am a child of Tāmaki Makaurau, Auckland, Aotearoa. Tāmaki of 100 lovers. But now there are 1.5 million lovers. My sacred mountain, Kohu Kohu Nui, the great mist-covered mountain, the highest in the Auckland region, bows to greet your mountains. My sacred waterways and tributaries, harbours and oceans, they flow to meet yours. These are the Maori markers, markers of life force and vitality for my people within our territory. The long-held DNA markers within the landscape that connect me to place. He uri tēnei no Waikato Tainui, pare hauraki, Ngāti Pāwa, Ngāti Whanaunga, pare Waikato, Ngāti Tahinga. He Māori ahau, I am Māori. Beauty is in the language. My language is my superpower, yeah. Whenua is our word for land, and it also refers to the placenta that intrinsically ties our whakapapa, our genealogy, to Mother Earth. When our children are born, their whenua, their placenta, is returned to be buried on the lands of their ancestors, to be physically and spiritually forever connected to place. To re-image the art of city building is to bring forward those cultural narratives of this place, the artefacts before city building, the opportunity to bring these forward, those traditional names that hold the stories of Indigenous peoples through intent and partnering. We can do this, changing those narratives to acquire a deeper sense of place. What are those Indigenous names that are visible in your cities? What is the meaning of those, and how do we bring those to life through activations? Let's narrate and make sense of that. How? Through building trusting and respectful relationships that with the tangata whenua, the people of the land of our cities, so that they have the opportunity to share their deep cultural expression as storytellers of stories that only they can tell and manifest in the built form. It is important to provide for our mokopuna, moko, reflection, puna, spring, to see our reflections in the spring. That is the word or the name that we call our grandchildren. To see my reflection in my grandson. Mokopuna, our grandchildren born and yet to be born, to have the ability to see their faces in their places. To be proud of their heritage as they grow to become parents, teachers, leaders, and one day great ancestors, that they have been able to leave their moccasin prints on the land for their descendants to follow. I acknowledge the work that Carolyn King has done through the Moccasin Project in Toronto, and I learnt about that only this week at a week-long Indigenous placemaking retreat on Toronto Island, where I just flew in last night, 12:30 this morning. There are leading examples of how this can be done. Activations shared during this time were simple celebrations, including important events, times when significant fruits of the land, flourishings, including summer and winter solstice, specific cultural events relating to place and First Nations. Providing for cultural expression need not be hard, people. As a founding member of Ngā Aho, an international collective of Indigenous creatives, architects, landscape architects, urban planners, weavers, carvers, there is a groundswell of notable Indigenous practitioners doing great work in the built environment. We are the group that partnered with the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nations on Toronto Island that culminated in a symposium on Friday. A very deeply moving and spiritually uplifting event to nourish and nurture through storytelling and sharing that journey through panel presentations, dialogue, and art via studio presentations. There'll be a link on my bio once I get the link. So what does making shifts look like? Essentially, in order to daylight streams, we have to first daylight mines. In order to dechannelise streams, any engineers in the room? No, we're not picking on engineers. In order to dechannelise streams, we have to change the channel. As Indigenous peoples, we do not make place. Place makes us. And I support Pam's kōrero, walk with us. So, having shared kawakawa around the room, I would like to invite just a couple of people to share with us what their special place is. That place where you draw your strength and energy and vitality from, even though it may not be beside you. It might be halfway around the world, like me. My water body is the Waikato River. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
It's the ocean and the hidden spots around Halifax.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Thank you.
A very tiny island in the middle of, near the coast of Connecticut in the United States.
Okay, so where's Connecticut?
Sorry.
That way? Oh, down.
Long Island, northeast.
Northeast. Oh, northeast of the US. Thank you. No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. So usually when I do that exercise, man, we go on really awesome journeys around the world. People talk about water bodies that I've never heard of, like, you know, they talk about a channel, a fiord, because it doesn't necessarily need to be a flowing water. But also acknowledging that we ourselves are water bodies and that we need to take care of the waters of this planet. In closing, I would like to share a waiata, a song with you all, one that you can participate in, actually. Participation is always a good thing, eh? It calls for you to bring your pūmanawa, your heartbeat, through the drum, and I will be your voice. It is a song written for sister organisations, Ambassadors for Indian Opportunities, led by LaDonna Harris, and Amo, Ambassadors for Māori Opportunities, led by Kate and Bentham Ohia, that supports the development of Indigenous leaders. It sings to the values of relationships, respect, reciprocity, redistribution and love that we each need to uphold. In allowing the voice of the place and what she is calling for, and the voice of the First Peoples who have a long, endearing relationship with that place, so that we can commune in harmony in and for the benefit of Earth Mother and Sky Father. Right, get your drum on, people. So you can't tap on the table, so let's just go. You're speeding up, eh? Who's a good timekeeper in the room? Anyway. Ko rangi ayo, ko papayo, ngā pau hei amo, mo te whanau ngā tanga, kawe ngā taututu, koha takuru atu, te aroha te whariki. Yehu, yehu, ye ayo, yehu, yehu, ye amo. Ko rangi ayo, ko papa ayo, ngā pau hei amo, mo te whanau ngā tanga, kawe ngā taututu, koha takuru atu, te aroha Tuturu ki o whiti whakamaua kia tīna, tīna. Haumie, huie, tai ki e. I was 2.5 minutes early. No, I won't sing another song.